We are told this is paradise. But you cannot understand the wealth of this nation until you understand the brutality of the land that forged it. Most people think of a border as a simple line on a map, a place where one thing ends and another begins. But here, at the absolute top of the world, the border isn't a line. It is an atmosphere. It is a weight in the air that demands a different kind of respect. We have spent 10 weeks on the road, traveling over 14,000 kilometers across the jagged spine of a kingdom that shouldn't, by all laws of nature, be this prosperous. From the sleek, glass towers of the south to the silent, white deserts of the high Arctic, we have pushed further than the maps usually go. But we didn't come here for the postcards. We didn't come for the sights. We came for the silence. In a world that is becoming increasingly loud and crowded, Norway stands as a strange, beautiful contradiction. Before we push further into the deep fjords, I want to invite you to join this journey. If you value stories that look beneath the surface of our world, consider subscribing to Hidden Nation TV. We are a small team, dedicated to finding the philosophy in the landscape, and we'd be honored to have you with us as we head toward the north. This is a journey to find out what happens when a nation finally stops fighting the elements and starts listening to them. It is a quest to understand how a society built on the most rugged, unforgiving terrain on Earth became the most stable, the most wealthy, and perhaps the most humble. We are searching for the hidden nation, the one that exists beneath the 4K drone shots and the tourist trails. As we move toward the North Cape, the questions become heavier. How does a nation sitting on $1 trillion of oil choose to live so simply? This is a cinematic meditation on survival and wealth. We are traveling to the edge of the world to see if, by standing at the end of the map, we can finally see ourselves clearly. The journey begins now. To understand the Norwegian spirit, you must first understand the weight of the ice. For thousands of years, this land was crushed under glaciers 3 kilometers thick. They didn't just carve the deep, neon blue fjords we see today. They carved a specific kind of patience into the human soul. Geography is destiny here. When your backyard is a vertical wall of granite and your driveway is a frozen sea, you learn very quickly that you do not conquer this place. You negotiate with it. In most parts of the world, being outdoors is a weekend hobby. In Norway, it is a spiritual homecoming. It is the belief that the human spirit only truly breathes when it is dwarfed by something massive, ancient, and indifferent to our presence. There is a profound healing in feeling small. It strips away the ego and leaves only the essential. But as we move from these silent, mirrored waters toward the high-speed pulse of the cities, a question begins to emerge. How does a culture so rooted in the ancient silence of the mountains handle the sudden, overwhelming arrival of extreme wealth? How do you stay grounded when you are suddenly the richest people on Earth? It's a balance most nations fail to strike. But Norway's secret isn't found in what they bought with their money. It's found in what they refuse to change. Have you ever felt that being in nature changed the way you see your own problems? I'd love to hear about the place that makes you feel most at peace in the comments. Hold that thought, because we are about to enter the wealth paradox, where the money is infinite, but the ego is nowhere to be found. Imagine waking up and discovering your family has just inherited the largest fortune in history. Most would build walls, buy yachts, and scream their success from the rooftops. But Norway did something far more radical. They stayed quiet. This is the wealth paradox. a nation that owns $1 trillion sovereign wealth fund, yet its people still drive 20-year-old Volvos and spend their weekends in wooden cabins without running water. There is a concept here called janteloven, or the law of Jante. It is an unwritten social code that essentially says, you are not better than anyone else. In a world fueled by the "look at me" culture of social media, this feels like an alien transmission. In Norway, flashing your wealth isn't just considered rude, it's seen as a failure of character. They have mastered the art of being rich in secret, focusing on collective security rather than individual excess. But this leads us to a difficult question, one that hits at the heart of our own lives. If you were handed a life of absolute financial security, would you still find a reason to work? Would you still find a reason to struggle? Or is the struggle itself what makes us human? It's a delicate balance between the comfort of the state and the hunger of the soul. As we leave the paved roads behind and head deeper into the storm-battered coastlines, we are looking for the people who reject the comfort of the cities for the raw edge of the wild. If this philosophy of humble wealth resonates with you, or if you think it's a recipe for stagnation, I want to hear your perspective in the comments. Does money change who you are, or does it just reveal who you've always been? We are moving north now, toward the shadows of the Arctic, where money can't save you from the cold. As we cross the invisible line of the Arctic Circle, the color of the world begins to drain away. The vibrant greens of the southern fjords are replaced by an infinite palette of steel gray, bone white, and a blue so deep it feels like it belongs to another planet. Up here, the sun is no longer a constant. It is a seasonal visitor. For months, the north is plunged into a twilight that challenges the very chemistry of the human brain. This is where the hidden nation truly reveals itself, not in the light, but in the way it handles the dark. In the Arctic, survival is the only currency that matters. You realize quickly that the $1 trillion oil fund cannot heat the wind or push back the tide. There is a raw, terrifying beauty in this vulnerability. It forces a community to lean on one another with a level of trust that has vanished from most modern cities. When the storm hits, your neighbor's hand is the only thing standing between you and the abyss. It makes me wonder, have we traded genuine human connection for the illusion of independence? Living at the edge of the habitable world requires a mental toughness the locals call sisu, a grit that turns hardship into a badge of honor. But as the ice closes in, a haunting question remains. Is the peace found here a result of the landscape, or is it a result of what we leave behind to get here? Before we reach the final destination at the North Cape, I want to know, what is the one thing you couldn't live without if you moved to the edge of the world? Is it a person, a memory, or a modern comfort? Share your thoughts below. Your stories are what make this community so special. We are pushing into the final stretch now. The wind is rising, and the truth is finally within reach. At last, the road can go no further. We stand at the North Cape, a towering plateau of slate and iron that drops 1,000 feet into the churning, hungry waters of the Barents Sea. This is the end of Europe. Beyond this point, there is only the North Pole and the vast, frozen silence of the unknown. 14,000 kilometers are behind us, and as the wind tries to tear the breath from our lungs, the truth about Norway finally becomes clear. The beauty of this country isn't found in its wealth, its fjords, or its social systems. It is found in the quiet dignity of a people who refuse to be conquered by their own success. They have built one of the most advanced societies on Earth, yet their hearts remain tethered to the ancient, wild earth. They have learned that true prosperity isn't about how much you can accumulate, but how much of yourself you can give back to the community and the land. As we look out over the edge of the world, we realize that the hidden nation was never a place on a map. It is a state of mind. It is the understanding that we are small, that we are temporary, and that our greatest wealth is the person standing next to us in the storm. It's about finding peace in the silence and strength in the struggle. This journey may be ending, but the questions it raised stay with us. Family, has this journey changed how you view your own idea of success? What is one thing you'll take away from this story to apply to your own life? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. Thank you for traveling to the edge with us. The world is wide, and there is so much more to uncover. Until next time, keep searching for the truth beneath the surface. As we turn back from the edge of the North Cape, the silence doesn't feel empty anymore. It feels full. The long journey back toward the lights of civilization is a slow descent from a mountain of clarity. We often think that traveling to a place like Norway is about seeing something new, but the deeper truth is that it's about becoming something new. It's about stripping away the noise of our daily lives until all that's left is the steady beat of a heart that finally understands what it needs. We came here looking for the secret to Norwegian wealth, but we found something far more valuable: the secret to a life well lived. This land teaches you that you are part of a larger story, a narrative written in stone, ice, and time. When you see a lone cabin perched on a cliffside, you don't just see a house. You see a declaration of human resilience. It's a reminder that we are capable of thriving in the harshest conditions if we maintain our connection to the earth and to each other. As we cross back through the silent forests, the question shifts from how do they live like this to why don't we? What is the one hidden truth you've discovered in your own life that changed everything for you? Was it a moment of loss, a journey, or a sudden realization in the quiet of the night? Your stories are the soul of Hidden Nation TV, so please share that piece of your heart in the comments. If this journey has moved you, share this video with someone who needs a reminder that there is still magic and meaning left in this world. Our time in the north is drawing to a close, but the echo of the fjords will stay with us forever. Thank you for walking this path with me. The horizon is calling again, and next time we go even deeper. Beyond the wealth, the ice, and the silent fjords, there is a final layer to this story that most travelers miss. It is the legacy we leave behind. In Norway, there is a profound sense of stewardship, a belief that we do not own the land, we merely borrow it from the generations to come. This isn't just a political policy, it is a deep-seated emotional responsibility. They live with the understanding that every action today echoes into a future they will never see. It is the ultimate act of selflessness in an age of instant gratification. As the sun finally dips below the horizon, painting the sky in bruises of purple and gold, I'm struck by a haunting thought. What will our own legacy be? If someone were to tell the story of your life 100 years from now, would they speak of the things you gathered or the way you made people feel? The Norwegians have taught us that the most enduring monuments aren't built of marble, but of character and preserved wilderness. They have found a way to be modern without losing their ancient soul, and that might be the greatest achievement of all. We are all travelers on this small, blue marble, searching for a place that feels like home. Perhaps home isn't a coordinate on a map, but a moment of total clarity where you finally feel aligned with the world around you. Has there ever been a moment in your life where you felt truly, deeply connected to something bigger than yourself. Tell me about that moment in the comments. Let's create a map of those experiences together. The journey of Hidden Nation TV is just beginning, and we are so honored to have you by our side. Keep looking for the depth in the shallow and the beauty in the brutal. There is a specific kind of melancholy that hits you when a journey of this magnitude comes to an end. It's not sadness, but a heavy, beautiful realization that the world is far larger and more complex than the small boxes we often live in. As we pack away the gear and look out over the last fjord, the air feels different. It carries the scent of salt, old stone, and a strange, quiet promise. We came to Norway to document a country, but in the process, we documented the edges of our own understanding. We found that the hidden nation isn't just a place. It's the part of ourselves we often forget to nourish in the rush of modern life. The road ahead is long, but it's no longer just a path back home. It's a continuation of the search. Because once you've seen the world through this lens of humility and raw beauty, you can't simply unsee it. You start to look for the Norway in your own backyard, the moments of quiet resilience, the small acts of community, and the wild spaces that still remain. It's a reminder that even in our loudest, most chaotic cities, the ancient silence of the mountains is still there, waiting for us to listen. But a journey like this only matters if it changes the way we move forward. So, as we prepare to leave this northern light behind, I have one final question for you. If you could take just one lesson from the Norwegian way of life and plant it in your own community tomorrow, what would it be? Would it be the humility of jagged, the love of the wild, or the quiet trust in one another? Your answer might just be the spark someone else needs to hear today. So please, share it with us below. Thank you for being the heartbeat of Hidden Nation TV. Every like, every share, and every word you write helps us keep these stories alive. The horizon never truly ends. It just waits for us to reach it. Until the next story begins, stay curious, stay humble, and keep seeking the truth. There is an old saying in the high north: the mountain doesn't care about your plans. It is a humbling realization that strikes you deepest when you are drifting in the middle of a fjord, surrounded by cliffs that have stood for millions of years. In these moments, the weight of our modern anxieties, the emails, the deadlines, the social pressures, simply evaporates. You realize that nature isn't just something to look at, it's a mirror. It reflects back the strength we forgot we had and the peace we've been too busy to find. The spirit of the fjord isn't about the water or the stone. It's about the stillness that starts to grow inside you when you finally stop running. But this stillness is becoming a rare commodity in our world. We are the first generation in history to be connected 24 hours a day, yet we are arguably the loneliest. The Norwegians seem to have found the antidote. They don't just visit nature, they inhabit it. They understand that to lose touch with the wild is to lose touch with ourselves. It makes me wonder, when was the last time you truly sat in silence, without a screen, without a distraction, just listening to the world breathe? If you could leave everything behind for just 1 week and disappear into a cabin in the mountains, what is the one question you would hope to find the answer to? Sometimes, the most important conversations we have are the ones we have with ourselves when the world goes quiet. Share that question with me in the comments. Let's explore the depths of that silence together. We are nearing the final horizon now, where the sky meets the sea and the journey becomes a memory. But the lessons we've gathered are yours to keep forever. As we prepare to leave this land of iron and ice, we are forced to confront the most powerful truth of all. The story of Norway isn't just about Norway, it's about us. It's a testament to what is possible when a society chooses courage over fear and community over ego. We've traveled from the bustling streets of Oslo to the jagged cliffs of the North Cape, and through every mile, we've felt an unseen thread pulling at our hearts. It's the thread of human connection, the one that reminds us that no matter where we live or what language we speak, we are all searching for the same things: belonging, purpose, and a sense of awe. But awe is a fragile thing. In our daily lives, it's easily crushed by the mundane and the mechanical. The hidden nation reminds us to protect that awe at all costs. Whether it's the way the light hits a glacier or the way a stranger offers a hand in a storm, these are the moments that define the quality of our existence. As this journey concludes, the cameras will stop rolling and the maps will be folded, but the transformation remains. We are not the same people who started this trip, and we hope you aren't either. Before we say our final goodbye to the Arctic horizon, I want to ask you something deeply personal. If you could send a message to your future self from this moment of clarity, what would it be? What promise would you make to keep your own inner wild alive? Let's fill the comments with these promises as a legacy for this journey we've shared. Thank you for being part of the Hidden Nation TV family. Your presence here makes every mile worth traveling. Until our paths cross again in the next great story, stay bold, stay kind, and never stop looking for the light. There is a final, quiet realization that settles in only after the engine has cooled and the bags are packed. It's the realization that the most difficult terrain we ever navigate isn't a mountain pass or a frozen tundra. It's the landscape of our own choices. Norway stands as a lighthouse for the rest of the world, not because it is perfect, but because it is intentional. It's a country that decided, collectively, that the well-being of the many is worth more than the excess of the few. But as we leave the Arctic Circle behind, the true test begins. How do we carry that intentionality back into a world that is designed to keep us distracted and divided? The North Star has guided explorers for millennia, not by giving them a destination, but by giving them a constant. Perhaps that is what this journey was really about, finding your own constant. In the face of a changing climate, a shifting economy, and an uncertain future, what is the one value you refuse to compromise on? Is it your integrity, your kindness, or your connection to the people you love? The Hidden Nation isn't a place you visit. It's the person you decide to be when no one is watching. As we close this chapter of our lives, I want to leave you with one final thought. Every great story ever told began with a single step into the unknown. If you felt a spark of inspiration during this series, don't let it fade. Use it to fuel your own next adventure, no matter how small. What is one bold step you're going to take this week to change your own story? Tell us in the comments, and let's support each other in our next chapters. Thank you for being the soul of Hidden Nation TV. The world is waiting. Go find your light. We often speak of returning from a journey as if we can simply step back into the same life we left behind. But the truth is, after witnessing the raw, unapologetic power of the Norwegian wilderness, there is no going back, only going forward with a new set of eyes. The glaciers we touched are melting, the seasons are shifting, and the world we knew is evolving at a breakneck pace. Yet, in the heart of this hidden nation, we found a timeless blueprint for survival, the marriage of modern innovation with ancient wisdom. It is a reminder that while the world changes, the fundamental needs of the human spirit for beauty, for community, and for purpose remain as steady as the granite peaks of the Lofoten Islands. As the final embers of this story glow, I find myself thinking about the bridge between where we are and where we want to be. Norway isn't a fairy tale. It's a living, breathing example of what happens when we prioritize the soul over the machine. It's a challenge to every one of us to look at our own lives and ask, what am I building that will actually last? The houses may crumble and the money may lose its value, but the way we treat the earth and each other is the only currency that truly matters in the end. If you could sum up this entire journey in just one word, what would it be? Is it freedom, belonging, or perhaps hope? I want to see a sea of those words in the comments, a collective reflection of what this story has meant to you. Your engagement is what keeps Hidden Nation TV alive, and if this series has touched your heart, please share it with one person today who needs to see the world a little differently. Thank you for traveling to the edge with us. The map is empty again, and a new horizon is already calling. Until next time, keep your heart open and your spirit wild. They say that if you stand perfectly still in the middle of a Norwegian pine forest, you can hear the earth itself breathing. It is a heavy, rhythmic silence that forces you to confront the one thing we spend our entire lives trying to outrun: ourselves. In the rush of our modern existence, we treat silence like an enemy to be conquered with noise. But here, silence is a teacher. It strips away the masks we wear for society, the titles we cling to for status, and the fears we harbor about the future. What remains is something raw and undeniably real. It is the realization that we are not separate from the world we inhabit. We are the world experiencing itself. This journey through Norway has been more than a travelogue. It has been an invitation to rediscover that lost connection. We have seen how a nation can prosper not by exploiting its land, but by honoring it. But the most profound discovery wasn't found in the towering fjords or the dancing northern lights. It was found in the quiet moments of reflection between them. It's the understanding that the hidden nation isn't just a destination on a map. It's a state of mind that prioritizes depth over speed and meaning over profit. As we linger in this final stretch of the journey, I want to ask you, what is the loudest thing your heart tells you when everything else goes quiet? Is it a dream you've deferred, a person you've missed, or a truth you've been afraid to speak? Don't let that voice fade away. Share a piece of your inner silence with us in the comments. Sometimes, putting it into words is the first step toward making it real. Thank you for being the heartbeat of Hidden Nation TV. If this story resonated with you, hit the like button and share it with someone who is currently navigating their own silence. The path continues, and we are honored to walk it with you. Beneath the sleek, modern glass of Oslo and the rugged timber of remote fishing villages, there is an ancient pulse that still beats in the heart of this land. It is the pulse of the ancestors, the explorers, the survivors, and the dreamers who looked at these harsh, unforgiving landscapes and saw a home. They didn't just survive the Arctic winter, they learned to dance with it. There is a specific kind of resilience woven into the Norwegian DNA, a quiet stubbornness that refuses to be broken by the cold. It reminds us that we are all descendants of survivors. We carry within us the same fire that kept our ancestors warm through the darkest nights of history. But in our climate-controlled, digitized lives, that fire can sometimes feel like it's flickering out. We've traded the struggle of the elements for the struggle of the soul, often feeling adrift in a world that values convenience over character. This journey has been a reminder that we need the cold to appreciate the heat. We need the challenge to discover our strength. The Norwegians haven't forgotten where they came from, and perhaps that is their greatest secret. They honor the past not by living in it, but by carrying its lessons of endurance and community into the future. As we look toward the horizon one last time, I want to ask you, Who is the person in your own history, an ancestor, a grandparent, or a mentor, who taught you what it means to be resilient? What was the most important lesson they left behind for you? Let's honor their memory by sharing those stories in the comments. Your heritage is a map to your future, and I'd love to see where your journey began. Thank you for being part of the Hidden Nation TV legacy. If you believe these stories of human resilience need to be heard, please like and share this video. The fire is still burning.